If you are new to our channel, don't forget to hit that subscribe button.
Welcome to the Wisconsin Vegetable Gardener. I'm Joy Barrett. Happy you've come along with me for another day in the garden. Last time we were here, the rain was chasing us and we didn't get as much done as I wanted to. Today we're going to get the peppers planted, the eggplants in the ground, the cucumbers, and tomatoes. Now, something that we're doing different this year that we've never done before is we're not planting tomato starts. We're putting tomato seeds right in the ground. If you followed our videos and our radio show, the Gardening with Joy and Holly radio show, Holly grew up putting tomato seeds directly in the ground just a few blocks from this location as growing up, and tomatoes were just as prevalent in August as those in which we would plant by starts. Last year we did that experiment again, and by the three-quarter to end of season, the plants were the same size and producing the same amount. So we're going to put tomatoes in this bed here, peppers and eggplants in that bed there. Last time, as the rain was coming, I planted bush beans in this bed here, and some of them have begun to there's one there that's starting to come up. I got to put some more support on the plastic, but there's one there. They are starting to germinate. So with these beds here, peppers and eggplants I have starts for. I'm just going to use the Pro Plugger. I'm going to cut holes with the scissors and use the Pro Plugger and cut the holes. And then with the tomatoes, I am going to pre-cut the holes and just put 2 seeds in each hole and call that what it is. Peppers, I got to do pole beans too here, so that's got to go pole beans there. So I just kind of fill in the blanks. In a bed like this, we don't have trellising up yet. I do have trellising down there, so I'm going to do tomatoes there for sure. And I do have 2 poles for floor to weave. That's the fence post there, T-post. So I'll figure that out. I do have cages if I wanted to go that route. So, and then I will do some weeding, even though we have a weed barrier down. I did harvest a few remaining radishes there. I don't see any squash coming up yet. Oh, well, possibly, maybe. I do need to come in here and clean out the edges so I can plant cucumbers in that bed. The yacons that I planted last week are doing well. I've got 6 there, and I've got 8 in this bed here, and those are doing well. I have the irrigation system on right now, just getting it operational as it has not ran, and it's time to get that going. So that's what the plan is for today. I'll bring you along as each step is in progress and is completed. Weed barrier, again, not an organic means of gardening by the traditional sense, but a great reduction of weeds or removal of weeds necessary. Now here I've got onions and leeks. There's just going to be weeds in amongst them. That's the way it's going to be. This is the way the beds would look if I didn't have any weed barrier down at all. There is a, oh, there goes a bunny right there. So I know where that bunny's coming in at, and I will block that little low spot there. I forget what the name of that. Somebody's telling me in the comments. Milkweed. I got milkweed coming up there, there naturally. There's some coming up underneath this weed barrier here. That's just the way that's going to be. So let me get a rock here, and I will fill in that area where that rabbit went under to try to close off those areas. I got to find a board or a rock or something, and then we will continue the journey of getting the garden all planted. Okay, so I got 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24 tomato plants seeds planted. I just cut a hole big enough for the seed and the plant to emerge out of, not like a 2 or 3 inch diameter hole, as I will later when I put transplants in the ground. But then I'll have to add another post here or something in which to support the tomatoes, because you got to get them off the ground or you lose 50% of them by rot and mold and insects and bugs. So that bed is completed. I think I'm going to go over and work on the cucumber bed over there, get that all cleaned out, planted, so at least that portion of the garden is completed. And then I'll come back over here and work on this bed here, which will be all peppers, and I'll have to cut the holes bigger because I'm going to use the Pro plugger in order to create the holes in order to put the transplants in. And I can put the peppers in about every 10-11 inches. I can really cram them in tight. They do very well as a hedge, and I can do 3 rows of peppers. So you figure, just roughly here, probably 25 to 30 peppers in this bed without a whole lot of issue, and they do not need support. So I'll get the cucumbers done. I'll show you, showed earlier, I haven't touched it since last looked at it. And then I've got to get the irrigation system hooked up, which is in this mess here. Just got to do a connection and put a cap on it, but I'll clean all of the weeds out from around the perimeter. It's just a 4x4 foot box made out of pallets that I have. I just take the pallets and cut in thirds and then nail them together. All recycled material, all found material except for the weed barrier and the soil. T-post, just some mesh netting. So I cut all of the holes for the pepper plants. Now I don't have, I know you can use a propane torch and burn the holes, but 2 things. I don't have a propane torch, and secondly, I've got an irrigation system underneath that could get damaged. So I just went through and every place I just cut a X, and that'll be fine. So now I'm going to come in here with the Pro plugger, which has different, I can go up to 6 inches deep, 2 or 4. So I'm just going to go as deep as I think I need to, which is probably going to be about 5 inches. Pull the plug out, dump the soil there, and just go through until I get all the plugs removed, and then I'll plant the peppers accordingly. You don't have to dump it every time, you can let it build all the way up. Okay, so I have gotten the peppers planted and some eggplants. So I got 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 22 peppers planted. And then I needed to save some for our front yard garden, my nephew, and some for upper land, upstate Wisconsin, our camping property. I want to plant some up there. And then I've got 2, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 eggplants in this bed. May seem like a lot in a 4-foot wide by 12-foot long bed, but they will do just fine. So now this bed here, which the intentions was, I've got pole beans going to go back there, and it was going to be for eggplant. I am going to do it in 2 portions. I'm going to cut a little bit up here, clean this area out, plant my pole beans there on both sides. Even though the sun goes this way, it will still be effective. Space that out, come off of that about 1.5 feet, and then finish using up my eggplants, and then the remaining portions of the bed I will do tomatoes from seed as I did over there. That way I can utilize some of the cages I have, and then that will complete the planting of the garden. Now I'll need to wait a week or 2 to see what takes and what doesn't take, and what doesn't. If it doesn't take, let's say the peppers, there's some peppers in there that don't take, I won't have any more pepper starts, so I will just drop in tomato seeds for that particular thing, and same thing with the eggplants. So I will go ahead and get that going. The irrigation system has been running. I've been able to override the system, make sure everything's working right, and it has, so happy about that. And we're just about done with this. Okay, so on the pole beans, instead of doing a little cut job like over here where I had a couple inches and then split and cut it, I just rolled back the area here because these bush beans are gonna, or the pole beans will get to about there and then they'll grow up. And then I sorted out 6 more eggplants to put there, so that brings a total up of 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, about 14 eggplants. Some of these over here I'm going to have to give a little drink of water, like that one. Some of them are getting a little, they're going to be a little shocked. Not going to be a big deal. Some will make, some won't. That's just the way it is. Alright, and then through here I'm going to cut and put the tomato seeds in, and then that will be a wrap on the planting on this particular garden. Okay, so the tomatoes are planted. I did 3, 6, 9, 12, 18, 20, 24 there, plus the 6 eggplants and the pole beans. We had some pole beans that were still here that had dried on the vine. Some of those were still good that I could go ahead and plant. So that will do it. The garden is planted. I will come back and check on it, see what took, what didn't take, and see what I need to replace and fill in the spots. But we're ready for it to grow and maintain it throughout the summer so we can have a harvest. So thanks for joining me, and until next time, this is the Wisconsin Vegetable Gardener. Thanks for watching.